Well, it's another episode of Bargain Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at Twister. And while this is an enjoyable movie, when you start to break down some of the individual elements, it's obvious that the movie is really carried by basically two elements in particular, and those elements aren't the story or the characters, it's the special effects and the music. Really, a lot of the acting in this movie is staring off into the distance, looking at tornadoes destroying things, and there just isn't that much character stuff to really get all that invested in. I mean, sure, Bill and Jonas having it out over Jonas stealing his ideas, something I guess you can grasp onto, but really, Jonas doesn't work that well as an antagonist at all. I mean, sure, you can argue, well, he's motivated by the money, not the science, but you know what? Does it really matter? At the end of the day is going to help people regardless of why they're doing it or getting it. So do I really have to care if Jonas is more invested in enriching himself than helping other people? Or if he's more interested in money than data? I mean, does it really ultimately matter if it still benefits mankind as a whole? No, it really doesn't. So I don't know why I should care anymore if Bill and Joe succeed over Jonas that much. It doesn't really matter. The movie tries to set him up as an antagonist, and yes, he's a dickwad for stealing Bill's idea, but Bill should have copyrighted it, then he would have had a case. At least legally speaking. Another plot line that doesn't really work all that well is the whole will they get back together thing. It's just too obvious that they're going to get hooked back up. Let's face it, as soon as Bill starts going back in the whole chasing tornadoes things for just a day, you realize they're probably going to get hooked back up in a matter of hours, because let's face it, extreme situations, and this is the stuff that Bill really lives for, doing dangerous and extreme things for Joe. That's pretty much his MO, it seems, in this movie. So when he does the whole big playing all his cards on the table with his whole you should need to stop looking in the past, Joe, and look towards me, the future, it doesn't really come as a big reveal. And while it might be an emotional moment, since it's obvious that's coming, it's not as impactful as it needs to be to really garner that much attention from the audience. Really, it's more interesting for the audience watching the movie to see the twisters and the sort of damage and carnage they're going to do to the surrounding areas. Sort of like when we watch the cow being passed between two water spouts. I mean, that's probably one of the most memorable moments in the entire movie because it's a cow that's being passed between two twisters, basically. Or they would be twisters if they weren't currently in the water. Fun factoid, I guess. I suppose the worst aspect of this movie, if I had to really get down to it, it's the ending. Not that they succeed in getting Dorothy into the tornado and getting it up in the air by sending their car in there with the last armed Dorothy unit, but the fact they then managed to outrun a tornado on foot. This is not something you can humanly do. Twisters move on average much faster than any human can run. So there's no way you're going to be able to get away from a twister if it's gunning after you. It's just not possible. And then there's the whole tying themselves in with the belts and being inside the twister, not being hit by shrapnel. Considering how much wind speed was in this F5, the shrapnel would easily pass through the walls of the structure they're in, and basically be like bullets at that point, considering the high speed they'd be going at, basically piercing them full of holes. There's just no way you could possibly do that safely. It's just an insane big movie ending that just really hurts the movie because it's completely unrealistic, and while I do like it somewhat, it doesn't change the fact that when you start to think about it, the ending is really, really dumb. So really what carries this movie is the special effects and music. The music works out a lot of atmosphere, and the special effects show us twisters destroying stuff, which can be interesting in its own right. I mean, you can just look at all the videos online about twisters destroying houses and stuff. Just look at how successful the Storm Chasers were. You can almost consider this as a pilot episode for that stuff, right? Because people love watching natural disasters for whatever reason. As long as no one's getting seriously hurt, which obviously wouldn't happen in a movie. We know no one's going to really get hurt because it's a movie, so the special effects can carry the movie much better than they could in real life. When you have to sometimes worry, is someone actually get killed in this? Am I watching a video where someone died even if I don't know it? Even then, you can still have macabre interest, I suppose. Until next time, then. See ya.
Is there an F5? What would that be like?
The finger of God.